Most of one, a few.
Bit of oomph.
Cool, I'll give you something. Thank you.
Thank you very, very, very much.
Ever since I was young, I've dealt with anxiety and panic attacks. There's been a lot of occasions where I have gone into a really, really heightened state of panic, and those are terrifying. I wouldn't wish them on anyone. Initially, I got diagnosed with GAD, so generalised anxiety disorder. Yeah, basically it was just a state of heightened anxiety a lot of the time, and I suppose the G in it, the generalised, was that it often kind of came out of nowhere. It wasn't necessarily that I was anxious about anything in particular. It just was there. And I think that's the really annoying thing about it is, anxiety is a really normal part of being human. And the way that I had it described to me when I was younger is that people experience anxiety in expected circumstances. Like if you see a lion on the road, naturally you're going to have like a faster heartbeat, you're going to want to like respond to it. In my case, what it felt like was that there was always a lion there. There was always a lion around you. You were always freaking out. And I can get a really racing heart and sweating palms and just really preoccupied thoughts, really just kind of constant worry. OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, that is something I got diagnosed with a similar time, I think, when I got diagnosed with generalised anxiety. OCD is just, I feel like it's so commonly misunderstood. People straight away think that OCD is cleanliness or wanting things in a particular way. And I'm not a tidy person. That's not me. So my OCD is it's around contamination. So I have a fear of vomiting, and it's all around controlling my environment to prevent me from vomiting. From seeing it or hearing it, anything like that will be a massive trigger for me. I mean, I suppose it was the obsessive thought patterns, the worry about being sick, and then my compulsions or my kind of compulsive behaviours. Sometimes they were around hand washing and things, but other compulsions as well were just like quirks, like they weren't really related to it, but they were things I did to feel in control. When I moved away for uni was a really, really big trigger for my anxiety. It was the first time that I'd been away from home and everything was just really new. And that was a time in my life that I really felt like I wasn't in control. You know, I was in a new city and I was away from family, and being away from those people, I think, meant that I didn't have as many people around me who would notice that I was really deteriorating. I was having daily panic attacks, had a couple of episodes or a few episodes of panic attacks that were so bad and so severe that I vomited, which was just really stupid considering that's the phobia I had. So, you know, I'm worrying about vomiting, but my worry is making me vomit. So it wasn't until I essentially stopped eating altogether and got really sick and really underweight and went back home that then I had a massive amount of support around me, and then it was just kind of all hands on deck. And I know that that's not the reality for a lot of people, so I feel really privileged in that respect that I could say to a family member, I'm feeling anxious, and they just understood and knew to support me to get support, and having people in my corner made such a big difference. I was pretty quick to get diagnosed with OCD, and like healthcare professionals were pretty responsive with me. There were times when it was really, really hard, and there were times when I felt like I'd had to hit rock bottom in order to get that support that I needed. But every person that I've encountered that works in mental health is doing absolutely everything that they can. And a lot of the times that can feel like it's not enough. Also, mindfulness has been something that I've found really useful. Like there's lots of really awesome apps that are out there, like the Headspace app I used to use all of the time. Mindfulness, I think I found really helpful with my anxiety because it was so internalized for me, like it was just my constant thoughts. So kind of being able to slow down the thoughts or be more conscious of them, not constantly arguing with myself in my head, that was a really big thing for me that helped me manage it. Breathing exercises when I was having a panic attack, of course, were big ones, and I definitely heard kind of mixed reviews. on breathing exercises, but I found that they were really helpful for me because, of course, when I was panicking, I was essentially hyperventilating, and so I needed to slow down my breathing. The key thing that I always try to remind myself is that every person is different. Like, what's unhelpful for me might be helpful for someone else. What's unhelpful, I think, in terms of OCD and in terms of anxiety is just, if someone says to me, just don't worry about it, that's the worst thing they can say. Like, I'm going to worry about it, or why do you worry about it? Or, that's not logical, right? Like, I know, well, truly that it's not logical, but it's still in my mind. So hold awareness of the fact that, like, this person has told you something that probably, took a lot of courage and deserves to be properly acknowledged. Give it the time that it deserves and, be sure to, I suppose, be thankful for the fact that they're trusting in you.